So here's an entertaining one where a shady Tinderella definitely gets what's coming to her. But also a couple important reminders. Reminder number one, Tinder is for hookups, not dating. It's not like the other ones, okay? If a guy tries to turn into a dating app, he's going to communicate to the Tinderella that he's a nice guy and can be taken advantage of and likely will. And two, if you're on a date, guys, whether it's a coffee date or a beer or a meal, which I encourage you not to do a meal, but if you do it anyway, and she's ignoring you, not showing you respect, you got every reason to just walk and leave. And if she has a problem with it or her friends have a problem with it, too freaking bad. And you're going to see here, this guy learns this lesson. Titled, Am I the a-hole for stranding a date without a ride because she was ignoring me? And a shout out to Sean for sending me this story. He says here, so last week, and I went on a Tinder date with a gal who I've been chatting with for a while. Smack, right there. He showed her he's a nice guy. Chatting for a while on Tinder. Tinders are for the guys that just quickly arrange a hookup. And the girls know this. If he's chatting for a while, back and forth for a while, getting to know her, he's a nice guy. And she's going to take advantage of him. It was our second date, and I thought things were going pretty well. Really? We ended up at this rowdy bar a bit far away, about 30 to 40 minutes, which I recommended. It was good fun until she sees someone that she knows. This guy she went to college with, and they start chatting. Someone she knows or somebody who once had his you-know-what in her mouth. I awkwardly try to join the conversation, but I'm basically ignored. I leave them to get some food and come back like 30 minutes later. Are you nuts? Smack. You should have walked right out. It's one thing to be out, guys. If you're on a date and you recognize somebody, if it's a friend, you shake the hand, say hello, hope you're doing well. If it's a gal you knew and you have you're good with her, maybe you say hello, give her a hug, and say this is such and such, and that's it. We'll catch up later. But to actually ignore your date to talk to that person, see, she's treating this guy like a typical nice guy, knowing he's not going to do anything. He should have left right then and there. They're still chatting. I stand around like an idiot trying to join the conversation, but at one point the guy literally blocks me out and is with his back to me, and my date says and does nothing. Smack! He should have walked. Now they're a-holes, but still this guy should have walked. But don't worry, he gets it. They back into a corner and only talk to each other. Meanwhile, he's standing around or sitting around just looking like a complete fool. At this point, I go out and grab a smoke. She comes out after me and apologizes, says she hasn't seen this guy in ages. So what? You're being rude. You can say hello and then say maybe we'll see each other later. I tell her that's cool. Smack. Of course you did. But I'm just going to head out home soon. She asked me to wait for her for a second because she doesn't have a ride and is far from home. Not my problem. You can get a cab. I'm sure you can find this guy can take you home. I'm sure he wants to take you home for a quickie or Uber or Lyft. So I wait, whatever. The night is ruined, I might as well just hang out. I wait another 20 minutes before heading back inside. Smack! 20? How much of your night have you wasted waiting around for this broad? To tell her I'm going home, and she can either come with me or stay. I see them in the same corner with the guy blocking my view. I try to talk to her, but he keeps turning his back to block me. Such disrespect. She doesn't care. I gesture to her that I'm going, and she holds up a finger like, wait a minute. Man, the disrespect. Literally. This guy's like at her beck and call. Does she have any respect for him? No. Wait a minute. And instead of coming to talk to me, she just keeps talking to her friend. Friend, huh? I had at this point, and I just text her, I'm leaving now, goodbye. And I head straight to my car and leave. I then get frantic calls about 15 minutes later. Tough shit, lady. I told you I was leaving. You had I gave you every chance. She asked me where I am and if I could come back and pick her up, since she doesn't have a ride and her friend doesn't live close to her like I do. And I say no and I hang up on her. Awesome. It's about time, my friend. Good for you. You know what would happen if he would have turned around and picked her up? She'd still be in the corner talking to the guy and she'd hold her finger up again and say, wait. Anyway, the next day, I get the longest, angriest chain of texts in my life. She's upset because I left her with no ride, and she had to beg the bartender to call her a cab because she ran out of cash and can't get an Uber or Lyft for some reason. What a load of crap. The dude should have blocked her right then and there. He's the bad guy here. She was a disrespectful asshole. She calls me a piece of crap and to never call her again, and she'll be telling anyone she knows to never go on a date with me. Well, since birds of a feather flock together, and I'm sure all her friends are probably just like her, that's a good thing. My roommate and his girlfriend both agree that the girl sucks. Well, she does suck a lot of something. But they think I should just waited longer and made sure she got home. Am I the a-hole for what I did? Well, smack to the roommate and his dumb girl. Of course they think that. This perception that the guy should just stand there and take crap. No way. No way. So, gentlemen, if you're out on a date, because I know a lot of you date, whether you want to admit it or not, or even if you have a girlfriend and she's showing you disrespect like this, you don't owe her anything. You don't owe her to actually say, hey, I'm leaving now or something like that. I just walk and leave. Period. And if she gets mad, so what? And I'll be honest with you, a girl like this, actually if a guy just up and left her and ditched her, and she might actually find attraction for that guy. But you see, women don't do this to guys they respect and really are into. Women will test guys always, don't get me wrong, but this is absolute level disrespect. And this is because, I guarantee you, this guy gave up all the nice guy vibes, talking to her for a long time on Tinder, going on actual dates as opposed to like, hey, come over to my place, I live on 564 Jennings Avenue, right here. So guys, don't be this guy. And again, reminder also, first date, something cheap, inexpensive, a coffee, a beer, something like that. Not something that your whole evening is wasted with one of these a-holes. So he did the right thing, and I think it's a good thing. Now a few comments here. One guy said, this is from a woman. This woman says, not the a-hole. I would have said you're the a-hole if you hadn't given her multiple warnings, but you did. Well, no, he didn't owe her any warnings. This woman, I know darn well she was disrespecting him. You told her you were leaving after she behaved like an a-hole on the date. She asked for more time. You then tried to tell her you're leaving in multiple ways, at which she ignored you. You don't even stand her. She stranded herself by missing all ride options available to her. She just expected this guy to stand around and wait for her all night. That's what's going on here. Another guy says, honestly, I'm impressed you held out as long as you did. I would have given the I'm out and have a great life tap hours before you. People can't walk all over you unless you lie down in front of them first. She had ample time to make better decisions. Take comfort in knowing her friends are probably just like her, so she's just sparing you when she says she tells them not to date you. Some of them may actually have respect for this guy for walking out with this girl. Another one. This is a long one. This guy really hits the point home. This guy says, this is what happened. You go to the club with her. She meets a guy she liked from before and starts talking to him. He wants some quick action, but is not interested in anything long term. She keeps you around as an insurance policy in case it doesn't work out with the guy, thinking that you are desperate. Well, the guy communicated he's desperate in her eyes by standing around and waiting for them. You stay for way longer than you should, despite giving her warnings, and she disrespected you because you don't want to just strand her despite her being an a-hole to you. She overestimates your desperateness, but is still unfazed because she thinks the guy's generally interested. You finally decide your self-respect is more important than some fantastical sense of chivalry. After you ditch her, he has finally had her cornered. He proposes SCX now that her date is out of the picture, and she's like, no. Can we go on a first date and such? I like relationships. The dude is like, yeah, I think I got a bail. And that's it. But you can't give her a ride home since I don't have one. And he's all, sorry, my car is in the uni seat. She then has to pay to get a pretty giant ass amount of money she wasn't planning on spending to Uber so she can get home. She lies about the whole bartender thing to make it sound like you put a defenseless woman in danger so she can make you feel like crap. Well, that pretty much sums it up. But I think she didn't want a relationship with that guy she was talking to in the corner. That was just the guy that she was interested in. So, gentlemen, women will use you. They will go out on dates with you, even if they don't like you, to get a free meal or so they're not at home bored. And maybe they can meet somebody else they really like. And will treat you like this if you act like a doormat. There are just assholes out there, and you have to treat them accordingly. So I hope this guy learns, and the next time he's in a situation like this, and the woman's ignoring him, showing him absolute disrespect, just walk. You don't owe them an explanation, because I guarantee this girl knew she's being an asshole. It's not that hard. No explanations, just walk. And if she yells at you, texts you, makes all these threats, too bad. Who cares? So she's mad at you. So she spreads the word. Like I said, someone might actually find this guy attractive now that he left her. There you go.